It's been slightly slower, but the fact that it's been subpar is not a surprise. This is the worst recovery, weakest recovery from a severe downturn in American history. When you've had a big downturn before, you always get, at least initially, a sharp upturn. And the question becomes, can you sustain it? And in this case, we did not get that sharp upturn. It has been fairly sluggish. We're like an automobile chugging along at about 35. We should be going 65, 75. Inflation is already a problem. What economists don't realize, particularly at the Federal Reserve, is that when you trash money, you lower people's standard of living, which is why, certainly in the last 6 years, middle-class America has gone nowhere. Even if you have a job, you are not moving ahead, even as we get new technology products in the marketplace, like iPads. Your standard of living is not improving the way it should. And that's a weak dollar. Weak dollar means a weak recovery. Weak dollar is why the stock market, even though it's been up in the last couple of years, 12 years, it's gone nowhere. So the fact that now food prices are moving up, oil prices, gasoline prices, heating oil and the like are moving up, means that we're having more of a traditional kind of inflation. But when you hit your money, you will pay a price for it, and we are paying a price for it, but the Federal Reserve is absolutely oblivious to it. Outsized profits come when you have inflation. You see it in commodities, but inflation distorts things. It hurts certain areas, and it also gives windfall gains to certain areas. So if you get a stable dollar, you're not going to see these outsized profits, just as you don't see outsized profits in the energy industry or other areas. And so that's another reason why we need a stable dollar. The other thing is that if the government does its part right, you don't need bailouts. And unfortunately, this financial reform bill, Dodd-Frank they call it, after two guys who are now, one has left Congress and one should have left Congress, but because they were big champions of Fannie and Freddie. But that bill really codifies too big to fail, does the opposite of what it's advertised to do. It gives government enormous powers. It's certainly putting severe pressure on smaller banks, because big government does not like small entities. They're much harder to control. So Obamacare is really putting a pressure on single practitioners, driving them out, forcing them, collectivizing them in larger organizations. Same thing on the financial side. So that's why this coming election will be critical, is precisely these distortions have got to end.